a couple things that I want to, go down the rabbit hole on. We'll get to the, things should have done differently with the business transition, especially going from independent to, kind of letting go and structure.
Oh, yeah.
But you did say something in there that I have a belief, I believe it's so easy to get a real estate license, and yet, the only thing easier than that is saying you're a coach.
I
And
believe that too.
and it's just one of the things that just gets thrown out there loosely, and just because you can sell several $100 million worth of volume of real estate doesn't mean you're qualified to be a coach.
No.
And so I'm with you. You have to pay attention. I had the opportunity. I was out in Columbia, South Carolina, for a re-up event with Jacob Barnhill and Noah Harris. And, one of the questions came up, how do you go about finding a coach? And I was like, that's a great question. And, you have to look at, okay, first and foremost, and this is the thing, Trish, we talk about this all the time, right? It's like, you better make sure your values align.
Oh, yeah.
First and foremost. That's with your team. That's with the people, like you said, right? It's really important who you surround yourself with and who you allow into your circle, but you better make sure that there's some value alignment there. And then somebody, they're like, well, is that it? No, that's not it. You need to also make sure that they have the tools to be able to help you solve whatever it is you're trying to solve.
Yep.
Then I would say, do they have the connections you need to help you accelerate not only your business, but accelerate your life?
Oh, yeah.
And then finally, just freaking look all over social media. What are they doing? Are they out there? Are they impacting people? Are they adding value? What are people saying about them? That's kind of my four box checklist of vetting out, looking for a coach, right? First and foremost, you better be problem aware.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many people that aren't even problem aware. They're just head down, just trudging along. And they don't even know that they have a problem. So one, make sure you're problem aware and know what the problem is. And that, okay, can this person, can this organization, can they help me solve what I'm trying to solve? And you got to go through that process. Right. And sometimes people make decisions. You know me, I'm not a believer that you commit and figure it out. I'm a believer of figure out what you want, and then are you willing to commit to it?
Yep.
And so that's super, super key. And, obviously kind of passionate about it with, just people, hey, I'm going to coach with this person. Like, is that person going to be able to really help you solve what you're trying to solve? Do you know what you're trying to solve?
Yes.
First?
Yeah.
And getting clear on that path.
When you say that, and again, y'all, I've known John for years and I've learned so much from John when he talks about like finding a coach. And again, there are so many people out there that are now life coaches and real estate coaches. But I even said this. So we do a lot of events, a lot of local events. We travel, we do a lot of events. And the goal is with the events is to help agents. Number one, when I was a single agent, before I was ever a broker or anything, I was a single mom as well. I went through a divorce. I went through the mortgage crash. I was even a lender for 6 years during the mortgage crash. And I went through a divorce during that same time in 2008. And my ex-husband didn't ever help financially with my kids. I have 3 kids and never helped with anything. And so when I went through that industry crash and then let go of my lender's license, I went back into real estate sales and just dug in head first. It was like just every day hustling, every day, no days off ever. And nobody ever helped me. No one ever gave me a lead. No one ever said, hey, try this. Hey, do this. Hey, talk to these people. Nobody. It was like, she's just hustling. And so for me, it was a struggle for that first year. But I had 3 kids I had to feed, I had bills I had to pay, and I had to make it happen. So I did. And so because of all of that, and that was in 2011, and because of all that I went through, I had to live on credit cards and buy groceries on credit cards. I have a passion for that underdog that people don't want to help, and that they have the grit and they have the willpower and they have the drive. They just need direction and guidance. And so when there's people out there misguiding others, coaches misguiding others and slinging that word coach around, I really have a distaste for that and a disrespect for that, because there are people like me in 2011 that would have fallen for that and did fall for that and spent thousands of dollars on things that didn't help and things that didn't matter and people that didn't help and people that didn't matter. And it was really honestly, and I met Jay and Mike in 2017, and that's when I was introduced to you, and that changed my life. And for that, I'm forever grateful, because that opened up the real world of real coaching, real people that are making a difference. Then their real passion is to help agents build a better life. They build better agents, and then they build better lives. And I believe that when you go deep with people that are in alignment, just like you just said, then you can do so much more and be so much more impactful. And I think it's a disservice if we, you and I, and people like us in our circle, don't get out there and tell people and have a voice. Like, stop following those people. Have they done what you're trying to do? They can't help you get to where you're trying to go. They've never been there themselves. How can they help you? But so many people don't look at that. They just see, well, so-and-so is following on YouTube and so-and-so is their friend on Facebook. It's like, who gives a crap? Like, go deep, go see what they've actually accomplished in their life, and make sure that they have that connection like you were just talking about. But then what are their core values? Like, what really are they there to really help you succeed? Like in our industry here, in our organization here, we've refined our core values, and we just did it in January of this year, because it became crystal clear. And again, I learned this from you, was like, you told me years ago, you have to sit down, Trisha, and you got to figure out, well, what do you want your life to look like? 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years from now? Have you ever really looked at 10 years from now? What do you want that to look like? And then you got to reverse engineer it. Okay, if this is what I want my life to look like, even 12 months from now, then what do I want the perfect week to look like? And what do I want my perfect day to look like? And you are the one that made me do that. And we sat down with our strategy thing and our clarity, getting clarity on what we want our life to look like. And that's what I teach here in my office. And so when we did all of that, it refined our core values even more. And so we used the acronym CARES. And our number one core value is coachable. If you're not coachable, we don't want you. We don't even want to be around you, because number one, you're a cancer to the organization.
Explain what that means. Explain what coachable means.
Totally. So coachable in our world is like, we're always in learner mode. Just like Michael Reese believes there's a solution for every problem, we believe that anything that you don't know, you can learn for sure. Yep. It's a skill. It's something you haven't learned, and you've got to be in learner mode. And if you come into our organization and you're not in learner mode and you think you know everything and you're going to one up everybody, then you're not a good fit for us. Nope. Because I'm always seeking. I start every day seeking. I start every day in learner mode. I'm listening to podcasts every single morning while I'm getting ready. I'm reading every single day to help my mind. And so if I'm doing that, I expect that the same thing from other people. And I'm not going to respect anybody that doesn't live like that. And I don't want to be around people that don't live like that. That's such a core fit for us. And then A for us is accountable. Like, if you said that you were going to go on 10 appointments this week and you scheduled 10, then did you go on 10? If you told these people you were going to meet them at 5 o'clock, did you do that? Like, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And I'm not going to sit here and have to babysit you and micromanage you. I want to be around adults, because if I say I'm going to go open an office, you can count on that. I'm going to make it happen. And so we expect that. So accountable is our A, and then our R is relentless. Like, if you are not relentless, because I am, like, clearly I have a lot of energy and I don't stop. Like, I have 3 kids and I got agents I got to take care of. So I am relentless, and it's every day is a hustle for me. And I expect the same back. I'm not going to respect you when you're only working 20 hours a week, yet you want to be successful. When I'm out there in the trenches every day, you got to be relentless in this industry. And so for us, that's a huge one. And then E for us is enthusiastic. You got to have energy, because when you're around people, whether it's a buyer, a seller, an agent, whoever it is, you think about when you get around people and there's this monotone, or they got no energy, or complain. I don't know about you, but that sucks the life out of me, and I can't be around them. And it shows like research, that the most enthusiastic and energetic people are the most successful people. People want to be around them. It's infectious, and so we expect that. And then our S is self-discipline. If you're not self-disciplined, I really have no respect for you, because there's no one that's going to make it happen for you other than you. We're going to give you every tool, system, script, everything you can possibly say. Schedule, we got the whole schedule written out for you. But you got to be self-disciplined to get up every day and make it happen. And if you're not, then I'm just super zero tolerance on that. I don't respect it. I just don't. Because, in the real estate industry, you can make a crap ton of money. It's up to you. There is no ceiling, but you have to do the work. And so many people, I think, get into this industry and expect everything to be handed to them, and they're entitled to this, and they don't want to get up at 4 a.m. They don't want to get up at even at 7. And it's like, if you look at studies, market research shows that most billionaires beat the sun up. They're up before the sun. They work out every day. They have a schedule, and they live by a structure, and they're self-disciplined, and they make a crap ton of money. But if you don't have those core values in our organization, then you're just not a good fit. And it's just super simple.
100%. My buddy had text a podcast link to me and Sloan. We're a little text thread, and he sent over this short podcast from Rob Dial, the mindset mentor, and it was I went out for a walk in the vest last night, and that was the first thing I put on, and I listened to it, and it was like, hell yes, because what it talks about is that nothing matters if you don't have standards. And essentially we all have standards, but to what level are those standards? And so when I'm hearing you talk about cares, which I love, because care is the glue of leadership. So when you look at as you're building your organization and you're creating this culture, which understand culture is just a collection of your people. And so that's why you have to have values that you hire, fire, train, promote, everything to, because that's the dynamic. Those are the personalities. Those are the people. And that becomes your culture. And what has to happen is that, so I love that, because the glue is care and your core values are cares. And so you're being able to have that, but everything I'm hearing in there, I'm running it through the filter of listening to that podcast episode yesterday evening. And he really broke it down. He's like, we all have standards, and to what extent? And he was giving examples, right? Like, do you eat fast food all the time, or do you eat clean all the time? That's a standard.
Yes.
And do you work out every day, or do you not? That's a standard. And really the direct correlation. And he said, really what is born from your standards are your habits and your results. And so, we talk about the kind of the results framework of, to get results is driven by our behavior, our habits, which then is driven by how we feel, our emotions, and then which is driven by our beliefs and our thinking, which is then driven by environment. And that's kind of what you said earlier, why it's so important. But I think the overarching thing when you look at that framework is standards.